Greetings, Stalkers, and welcome to the Grymm Mansion. My name is Abominathan, your fellow rotting scientist, and I'm joined tonight and all nights by my horrible friend.
Weird Eldridge, your occultist with still both hands.
Hey, I have two hands. I mean, most of them.
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about our topic for tonight.
Right. Nice.
I was segueing right into it.
That was so good. It went right over my head.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right. So tonight we are talking about a movie. It's from a couple years ago. That is about talking with the dead. It's Talk to Me. And who the heck decided to place the microphone over there? Hey,
I actually can hear feedback.
Thrall?
I don't know what these guys are doing today. It's ridiculous.
Seriously. Hey, bring the microphone over here. Actually, you know what? Replace that microphone because that one's broken. Just Eldritch, I'm sick of these thralls.
It's fine.
They just don't behave. Yesterday, they almost broke my new project that I'm working on, my new prototype for my new invention, and they almost broke it because of it's I don't know if it's stupidity. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose.
Nathan,
I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Have I ever told you the selection process for thralling in this house?
I think you did, but I might have forgotten.
They're all virgins.
That makes
Time
sense.
for a purge. We're going to get a lot of good blood tonight.
I hope the new ones don't get any weird messages or glitches in the next episode or in this episode, because a couple episodes ago they left some really bad I don't know what that was on the YouTube video, and it was just like
It's so hard to find good hands these days.
It almost looked like some kind of glyphs or something, like some kind of message. It's ridiculous.
Never mind you then. I'm sure it's nothing.
Yep. Anyway, that out of the way, let's just jump right into it. It's both set and produced in Australia. It starts off with this big house party.
There is this guy searching for someone named Duckett. He goes around the house, like he walks into the house looking for this guy. Eventually, he finds him locked inside of a room where someone is saying that he's going crazy. We understand that they're brothers. Cole and Duckett are brothers, and Duckett seems to be under the influence of something that's causing him to be extremely paranoid and psychotic, almost in a psychotic way. He's repeating to himself that something is going to go wrong, that Cole is going to hurt a lot of people, and that Dad told him so. Cole answers by saying, that's impossible. Dad is dead.
Long story short, Duckett ends up stabbing his brother and then stabbing himself in the face in the middle of several dozen people.
Mm-hmm. Everyone is recording it on their cell phones.
Yeah, right. This is the modern age, so age of smartphones and whatever. This part is kind of more my speculation or my theory, but I think it makes sense. The house essentially was sold because nobody wanted to, be in a house where that incident happened. And this house was bought by a family of a single father and his daughter called Mia. Mia essentially has this sister and brother that she
essentially lives with, because she hates being with Dad ever since Mom died.
And so one night, the little kid Riley, the younger brother of
her name Haley. No, it's not Haley. Sorry, Jade. Her name is Jade.
Riley tries to call his sister to pick him up. She doesn't answer, and so Mia picks him up instead. And when they are traveling back, making their way back, listening to pop music, Mia has to stop the car suddenly because there's a half-dead kangaroo in the middle of the road.
And the mood changes completely, by the way. As you said, they spend a lot of time together. They seem like brother and sister who are singing along in the car, like best friends who grew up together, if despite their age difference.
And Riley says that that the kangaroo's in pain and she should end its suffering. And she tries to do that by running it over with her car, but she can't do it. That pesky humanity gets in the way. That's what it's. I keep telling you, she can't do it, and she just drives off and says another car will go by, passing hot potato like that.
It's incredible the amount of foreshadow that's already in this movie. You know,
True.
not even half an hour in, and the movie's already chock full with that.
It's true. So then Daniel, who is Jade's boyfriend, calls Jade and basically want to meet up. They want to do like something. It's not established what it is yet.
It's a party. They're going to a party.
Right. Riley kind of uses a little bit of blackmailing. He says like, if you don't allow me to go, then I will tell mom that you refuse to pick me up, which is smart. I like that.
Yeah, so eventually they take the kid to the party.
And so they arrive at Joss's house, or at least a house that he's in, and he's got a lot of people. He's got Daniel, who is Jade's boyfriend and Mia's ex-boyfriend. Like this dude has been.
They held hands together once.
Okay.
I'm quoting here. It's something to that effect.
Anyway, so Joss is this kind of like is kind of the drug dealer type. Sorry to sound a little rude, but
no, definitely. Again,
in this movie, it's the role that he plays, and it's both a role of drug dealer, but as we learn very quickly, it's not drugs that he deals necessarily.
Yeah, the main attraction here is this
hand
analogy to a party drug. The hand, supposedly the hand of a medium who got embalmed, and now is the cast over its hand is like this porcelain cast scribbled with names and all different characters and letters from different alphabets. I don't know what they're saying. You can really get a good read on that.
Yeah,
it's a bit messy.
As a bit of a certain aesthetic that I very much enjoy, which is the kind of the cross between like the urban ghetto kind of aesthetic mixed in with the occult and mystery and horror. I really like that.
Yeah, the way they do so is via exactly like we do it. The light of candles. They invite spirits in by holding a hand and saying, "Talk to me." The hand eventually shows them someone else on the other side, sitting across from them.
And they always laugh at because it's only the person who's holding the hand that actually can see whatever appears in front of them, and the others are filming and they're laughing at the reaction of the person because that's all they can see. They can only see the reaction of the person. So it's almost like a game that they play.
Until the holder of this hand says the magic words, "I let you in," inviting the spirit into their body and essentially having a sort of 90-second high off of this while they're squirming around in a chair.
It's from what I can understand, it's the spirit kind of enters into their body and their soul, so the soul of the owner of the body, kind of is transported into some other dimension. I'm not sure, because that's kind of, they explain that it feels really good when they come back.
It's having like two people in one body,
or maybe,
but you're no longer take sort of lose control.
Yeah, and you're
for a second. You're in the passenger seat, exactly,
right.
Along for the ride.
And they do mention that more than 90 seconds can be, just don't do it. Don't do it for more than 90 seconds. Just trust me, bro. That's essentially what they say. Actually, Joss
and they have to blow out the candle.
Right, Joss actually mentions that if you die during the ritual, they'll have you forever.
Yeah.
Something like that.
They'll keep you forever.
So they do a lot of this. They just kind of go around. Everybody has a shot at it except Riley, because Riley is too young. But
Yeah, the
Riley
first
is
one.
trying to insist because there was
Wait,
a kid. Uh-huh. Go
wait.
ahead.
Before so, it's important to go. I don't know if you have notes over it, but Mia has a first reaction to it because she's the first one to go.
Hmm.
And I remember she is possessed by a spirit who doesn't really want to let go of the hand. It's trying really hard to stay there, and has a message for Riley saying something like "they like you."
Right there.
More
This,
foreshadowing.
she says he's behind you and he'll split you, something like that. And then asks for him to like repeatedly says like run, 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 something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, scaring Riley a lot.
Yeah, and then after Mia says she has had a hell of a good time, everyone else goes for a round,
Mhm.
as you were
They
saying.
actually do right. I think they finish off the session. They go back home because then we have an interaction between Riley and Mia because Riley can't sleep and Mia also can't sleep. So they kind of were talking together in on top of a couch. That's when Mia explains that it felt like she was
As you were saying, in the passenger seat.
yeah. She also talks about like a nightmare that she has where she looks in the mirror and she sees no reflection of herself. Like she doesn't
That's her
exist.
worst fear, yes. Yeah, that's a recurring nightmare. I don't know if it's her worst fear, but sure.
Both maybe. I think it's next day that they do it again. They or it,
Yes, they convince Haley and Joss, I guess.
oh it's established, or we have a scene in which the mom, so Riley and Jade's mom is being like really paranoid because she knows that they did something the other day, and so she's seeing a bunch of people that came to her house and she's asking
Mm-hmm.
when the party starts, and they're like there's not going to be a party.
Yeah, mom knows everything.
She's really
True,
scared that
true.
something's going to go wrong, and
She's right. Mother's
yeah.
intuition.
The next scene is them attempting the ritual again, and this time it's an actual party. This time they're just
It's much more. It's a smaller thing, also.
mhm.
Daniel, who didn't get a try the other day, gets a try this time and makes out with the dog.
Oh yeah.
He goes away after asking for everyone to delete the video. They don't delete the video, but he eventually comes back. So, no harm, no foul. He repeats it again. But here's when things start getting messy.
Yeah, because we have Jade and Mia who are essentially taking care of Riley, who's there. And Riley, several scenes back, there was a kid who essentially told Riley that he was a pussy, essentially, that he was weak and whatever. And so Riley, I guess, he has this, he wants to prove himself that he's strong. And so he asks to get a go, and Jade is not like, she's like no, and she, I think, gets out of the room. Most of them have already exited the room, and Mia accepts that Riley can try it for 30 seconds, I think.
50.
50.
Yeah, because he wants to do it initially 60, and she says 50.
50 seconds. And so Joss was already like putting the hand inside the bag. He takes the hand out of the bag again, and they do it with Riley. And the first reaction of Riley is different from the rest. He's not scared, he's very confused. And then he says, I let you in, and he's possessed. But this time the possessed body of Riley turns to Mia and starts talking to her as her mother, saying, I didn't mean to hurt you. I miss you so much, me. Obviously, Mia starts crying because, well, yeah, she misses her mom, and this is the only time that she could speak to her mom again. The 50 seconds become way more than that, and we see exactly what happens when you let yourself be possessed for way too long. Riley begins banging his head repeatedly on the counter. He he actually manages to gouge his eye out with his own hand. Meanwhile, everyone's freaking out, bleeding. They try to take the hand out of his hand. They can't. He starts floating. He's brought to the other side of the room. He starts like flailing around like he's being grabbed by some invisible force. And then he starts banging his head on the kind of the edge of the fireplace. This is when June arrives.
I think it's not a fireplace, it's a wooden thing, but it's still like solid wood.
Yeah.
He's hurting himself badly.
He's going to kill himself, essentially. June manages to at the last second prevent him from smashing his head, smashing his brain into the block of wood by putting her hand in the way and breaking her hand. Finally, they managed to get the hand out, but Riley is completely battered. Like, he's passed out at this point, and it's just he's taken to the hospital. There's blood everywhere. Nothing's fun anymore. No one's having fun at this point. Mia kind of blames herself for this because she was the one who agreed to it.
Mia gets to the hospital to try and see how Riley's doing, and is immediately stopped by Jade, who was not very eager to see her there. When she makes it past her, Sue has none of that. She's completely livid that Riley is in the state he's in, and Mia gets a glimpse. The kid is doing bad. His face is an absolute mess. Mia is kicked out by Sue, and everyone else enters the room. Mia has a vision of her mother through the reflection of the window.
An episode of maybe hallucinations. She, goes to the public bathroom. Is basically just freaking out. Daniel gets to her and tries to calm her down. Yeah, he offers to ride her home, and she's like, "Well, I don't really want to go to like the place of to Riley and Jade's place because that's kind of weird and awkward." And she doesn't also want to go to Daniel's place, and so I think they agree to go to her house. So she sleeps at her place, and they sleep together because she doesn't want to be alone. She's scared, she's confused, and all that stuff. They even have this kind of awkward conversation because like when they're both sitting in bed, and you can tell that there's a little bit of still some like chemistry left from when they were dating, perhaps. But regardless, Daniel falls asleep, and then Mia soon follows.
She eventually wakes up with a vision of a spirit apparently sucking on Daniel's foot. As she's trying to wake him up, he wakes up, but instead he finds that Mia is the one sucking on his foot, like with her eyes turned to the back of her head.
Pranked.
And yeah, so he picks his shit up, he leaves. Do you remember anything else? Because I remember that Mia eventually picks her the hand from the backpack.
Yeah, she's really angry at herself. She starts slapping herself in the face. Then she takes out the hand, does not necessarily not the full ritual, at least not the possession part, but she does the talk to me part. And she does that in front of the mirror so she can talk to her mom. Her mom says, mind you, this is a very disfigured, necrotic version of her mom. Not fully corpse, but not fully alive either. And her mom tells her that she didn't kill herself on purpose, and she would never want to leave her, and that Riley needs help. Meanwhile, cutting back to the hospital, Riley is being washed by his mom. June is also there. She's not June. Why do I keep Jade? Her name's Jade.
I don't know what's happening.
Jade is also there. She is grabbing him, and he suddenly bites Jade's face. Bites Jade's hand and falls on the floor. Is like laughing. He's beating his head into the wall, and blood starts coming out, and he starts licking his own blood off the floor. It's clear he's still not there.
He's not there at all.
Not only
there's someone else in the driver's seat.
Yeah, not only is his body completely destroyed, like he's probably completely mentally handicapped and physically handicapped, he's not there. He's just not. Someone else has taken over.
So Mia wants to undo that damage by stopping the ritual. She realizes that the candle wasn't.
The ritual has never been closed.
Mm-hmm, so exactly.
Maybe if they close the ritual, they can
undo the damage that's been. I mean, not undo, but stop it, and Riley can finally start healing again. Eventually, they also track down the original owner of the hand, Cole. He survived being stabbed by his brother, Duckett, at the beginning of the movie.
I actually thought it was a different guy, but whatever.
No, yeah, it's him. And after being a little bit cryptic, he essentially tells them that Riley's soul will want to return to its body and get rid of the invader, let's call it that, naturally. But the problem is that this ritual was never closed, therefore the spirits can't leave or won't leave, better said. So they go to his hospital, they try to contact, they try to undo the ritual, and Mia eventually uses the hand to try and call through Riley. Her logic being, if Riley's soul isn't in his body, it could be out there. And so he calls out to Riley, and a different Riley, a little girl, shows up, exactly,
Right.
saying that she can take him to Riley. And I guess Mia sees
Honestly,
Riley's.
this scene is kind of cheating. The spirit herself says, either I let you in or you let me in, which isn't how it goes, but whatever. It just rules are meant to be broken, I guess. But yes, she offers to show where Riley is, and Mia has a vision of Riley kind of in this hellish place with lots of people around him. It's kind of hard to see what's going on. I think maybe they're torturing him or something. It's freaky.
So I guess, yeah, in limbo, right?
Something like that.
So Mia gets back home. She is met by her father, who she had an argument some time ago in the movie about how she doesn't know the truth about.
Oh, right.
She doesn't know how she does not know the truth about her mother's death. Her father decides to read Mia's mom's suicide note, in which she says that, well, recently she's been feeling down and hopeless, but that today she woke up full of hope, knowing that everyone else around her will be happier now and will all accomplish whatever they want to accomplish. And Mia is starting to realize that this is a suicide note. And her immediate reaction is to refuse that this is happening.
Yeah, because I think even the apparition of her mom appears behind her dad and says he's lying.
That's later. It's when she's in the room alone. She sees her mom's reflection in the mirror, saying that that man is not real. That's not your father. He wants to kill you. And so eventually a fake father comes into the room, bursts in, and they have a fight. She is struggling to reach for a pair of scissors to stab this fake father in somewhere to get rid of him.
And then when her real father comes in and she ends up stabbing him instead, and leaves him bleeding there.
Yeah.
Because I think she actually thinks that she's hand-pilled. She thinks
Excuse
that.
you?
Sorry, it's the new lingo. I've been practicing the new lingo of
hand pill. I don't even want to know.
They keep inventing new shit. Just whatever.
This is some kink I don't want to find out.
No, it's not, but whatever.
Yeah, right. Mia drives up to the hospital and eventually realizes that in her head she has to kill Riley to set him free.
Yeah.
She kidnaps him out the hospital after having a conversation with Sue about how Sue was feeling guilty.
Let's not forget, she literally goes out, I think, with the scissors still in her hand. Yeah, she goes out to essentially stab Riley, just there and then, just in his hospital bed. So we see the IV starts filling up with blood. Riley's body transforms into Freddy Krueger, and we realize this whole thing is just a crossover with no, it's not.
Are you okay?
It's very close. It's very close.
You smell toast.
No. Yeah, and that's when she decides to somehow get him out of the bed, put him in a wheelchair, and take him to the edge of a highway to make a car kill him, I guess. This, meanwhile, she had called Jade to meet her at her house just as a distraction for her to essentially leave the hospital so she could do this. And then when Jade arrives at her house, sees her father bleeding on the floor. I don't know if he's dead already or if he's still alive, which is
crazy. Still alive.
Yeah.
Barely though.
And so she calls her mom to say Mia's dangerous.
Because they just had. Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to say before you interrupted me that she had a heart-to-heart with Sue, and Mia and Sue had a heart-to-heart, where Sue apologizes to Mia for thinking that she gave her son something. The drug results came back, and they were clean. There was nothing in his body. So now she's backtracking all the way to stop her from killing her son again.
Yep.
You were saying about the wheelchair now. Go on.
Yeah, and so Mia is with Riley, or should I say Freddy Krueger, in the wheelchair at the edge, ready to lunge him into traffic when Jade and her mom see her, find her, and this is the part of the movie that I thought was very unclear, because you don't see what happens next. You just see something breaks traffic, like something just makes like a car completely go off the road, and you see Mia's body laying there on the road, and she gets up. So Jade and her mom are next to Riley, who's still in the wheelchair, and she starts being transported in what I can only describe limbo, because she suddenly is no longer on the highway, she's now on a hospital. And she starts walking around, looks at a mirror, doesn't see her own reflection. And then she sees her father walking away, and she chases after him. The lights start turning off until she's left in darkness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, complete darkness, yes, that's it.
We see the light of a single candle being lit in the darkness, and she moves toward it. It's revealed that she's now on the other side, and she is being contacted through the other hand by some other group that's doing the ritual as well, somewhere else.
Greece. It's Greek they're speaking.
Okay, and that's how the movie ends.
Right. Right off the bat, great movie, all right? It's extremely well produced, extremely well acted. It's cohesive as nothing you've ever seen.
I mean,
and
I do have some criticisms of it, but go on.
I'll let you go. I'm just letting you know what I like about the movie, because there's a lot of things I like about the movie, way more than things I don't like.
Because I do really like the whole aesthetic of it. I think doing one of these, it's something I want to be more explored. The whole idea of like putting essentially horror tropes, like common horror tropes like possession and demons and ghosts and all that stuff, but into a more ghetto, a more sort of suburban style narrative. I think that's really cool. Because it has all of this potential, as you said, of the symbolism and the analogy of drug abuse, even stuff like gang violence and all that stuff. You can explore a lot of things, although things with this.
I don't think you necessarily need the aesthetic. I mean, you like the aesthetic, but you don't need the aesthetic to make this kind of analogy, of course.
Right.
I'm sure there's other examples that we don't need to mention right now about movies of high upper class where occult is hand in hand with drug analogy, or
it's not right. Drugs are not just a suburban thing, but yeah,
it's something that is not seen. Okay, I agree with you. We need more of it. It's like the Candyman, right? That you
exactly
so much like to praise. I knew you were going to say that.
I actually wasn't going to talk about the Candyman, but now you did. So
okay,
but yes, it's like it's that same style of the suburban occultism thing. So yeah, that the movie definitely has that going for it. It really plays into it, and it's very realistic. The way the interactions between the characters, they feel real. They feel like they genuinely care. Like even like Daniel, you can see like how he, even though he's not dating Mia, like he does care. Like he wants to help her. Like he sees her struggling and he wants to help her. And that's very believable. The effects also great. I also think that
most of it are practical. If is there anything that's CGI?
Maybe blood or something. Like some stuff might be. I don't know. But the eyes probably. Maybe the eyes are more like contact lenses.
Yeah, I really think so.
Possibly.
I'm not sure there's a. If there is, there's not a lot.
And the whole idea, the whole concept, the premise of this party ritual, this recreational occultism artifact, that's very
recreational occultism. I like that.
Isn't that what you do sometimes?
I mean,
I know it isn't that what
I
we've done.
wouldn't put it that way, but
Okay,
sure. Yes, yes, yeah. Now that you spoke those words, I want to use them more.
because like right now we're doing professional occultism,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes you just wanna have fun, you know.
Yeah, you just want to have fun with it.
Mm,
Although
um.
someone has to clean it up.
Oh, yeah, and it ain't gonna be me. That's what the thralls are for. I do have some because I did think like when I watched the movie, you had to explain several things to me because honestly, the ending I didn't think was clear at all. What happened? I was kind of creating a theory in my head, and then the ending just completely destroyed that theory that I had of what was going to happen, which might be a good thing. I don't know, but it did leave me pretty confused. And maybe you're gonna
I
help me
don't remember. I don't remember, but go ahead.
recap. So there's this hand which allows you to talk to spirits. These spirits supposedly are dead, are people who once were alive and now they're dead, which is why Mia can talk to her mother, presumably. There is some a scene where some character or they make like some they ask that these spirits could be lying to you, and well, we do see that happening with Mia's mom. Jade that tells Mia that maybe that spirit was just pretending to be her mom, to get something out of her or something. It's that's part's confusing because it's never explained. It's never cleared up whether that is actually her mom or not.
Well, it looks like her mom. It
Right,
talks like her mom.
but
It
if
walks like mom. You know, it's got to
but if
be mom.
but if it is her mom, why does she want to for her to kill dad or not trust dad? Like, did she hate him that much? And even then, like there's a
No, I mean it's okay. Right. Think with me. Whatever this entity is, it's going to use the fact that Mia is has been vulnerable for the past 2 years,
Mhm.
that a relationship with her father is strained, that she's pretty much isolated from all her friends. So it's going to take the one thing that she loves in the world, her mom,
Right.
take her shape,
So,
and get in her head. Now, she's sleep deprived on top of this all.
mhm,
She's extremely worried about feeling guilty over what she did with Riley. Like, she
mhm.
is primed for like just being puppeteered at this point.
Yeah, no,
And
but like it
the
makes sense if this entity is just an entity that's pretending to be her mom. Like I think that makes sense.
I was getting to the father thing
That's okay.
because she is essentially defending herself. The demon, the one thing that you're trusting right now, is saying, "That's not your dad. He's going to come in. He's going to kill you." And then he
Hmm.
does.
Yeah,
She is hallucinating, but she's seeing someone that should be there to protect her and care for her.
yeah,
She's there
and
to. It's there to kill her.
and it feeds off of her own fears because she
Hmm.
does have kind of this. She has some animosity towards her dad a little bit, and then that just this entity takes advantage of that, obviously. So okay, so we can say that whatever. So there's this entity that is pretending to be her mom. There's this other entity who is possessing Riley, who's in Riley's body.
They could be one and the same, as far as I know. I don't know how they work. I don't know if
Yes,
they're
but
spirits. I don't know if
but
they're
right.
whatever they're.
But then the thing is, okay, so we got these entities who might or might not be human. Whatever they are, their objective, and I had to think a bit. Their objective is to get Riley's soul
Not exactly. I think they
because
just want any soul.
sure, oh, right.
But
I
what
mean,
do you have a theory though?
they want Riley's soul because it's the one that they got, the one that they have taken a hold of. And I guess maybe until they get rid of the body, they can't fully take it, maybe. I don't know. Because their objective really is like both the spirit that is in Riley's body and the one that's talking to Mia, they both want Mia to kill quote unquote Riley. Um
Oh, but at the same time, I mean, in the end, they settled for Mia.
Yes, but I mean that wasn't really their plan.
Or was it?
You never know how far the rabbit hole goes. That's true, but it is confusing because okay, so if they take Mia and like that would make sense. Like if up to this point that whole thing kind of makes sense. Like they want souls or whatever. Like they're not really human. They want human souls. Or maybe they're not human anymore. Maybe when they take the soul, maybe they do something to it. I don't know. But then the movie ends with Mia being immediately after she's taken to limbo or whatever, after she's died,
Mm-hmm.
essentially. She is now in the position that those spirits were in.
Okay.
But this is confusing for two reasons. One of them is, why is she in a different country when her mom, oh right, it's not her mom because her mom did, right, never mind. It's still weird though because
Right. First of all, you're going off the assumption that this is immediately after, and
true is
that that between her death and whatever happened in Greece is immediate, and this is limbo. Time does not work in the same way. She might have waited for an eternity.
yes, of course.
Okay. Second, I still think that by the end, Mia is not answering by the same hand she was holding in the movie, because Joss says something about how both hands got embalmed and the other one is still out there somewhere.
Yeah.
And so what I think is that the other hand is in Greece, and that's what those guys were using.
Yes. No, that makes sense. It's you have the left hand and the right hand. The left hand is
Mhm.
in Australia, the other is in Greece. That makes sense. But the thing is, if so, this kind of is setting an idea, or is setting this plot, which means that it's a cycle. There's the cycle of souls, which are essentially taken by means of the hand, one way or another, and those souls then become the spirits that take more souls via the hand. I think it's kind of what this is implying here. But you do have to. It is kind of a stretch. Like it is kind of because it's never.
Yeah, I think the movie also wants to leave some things open for
That's
sequels
true.
or
This is
prequels or
true. But I do still think it could have been less confusing. That's what my
but
that's what I mean. Because
I like that. I don't think it's confusing. It's more like there's stuff to think about. There's things that are not clear that don't have a definitive answer, and that's part of the fun for me is trying to figure out what the hell were they on, you know? What are they trying to do?
to me, it feels more like even the authors don't necessarily know what the answer is, and that's kind of disappointing to me. It's like I like to, yes, of course, I like to wonder and to postulate and to theorize on meanings of movies and like what because
I
obviously
disagree. Sorry, you go on.
for mystery, like you, of course, you need that. Um, but yeah, like usually, like I have to feel like the author's getting somewhere.
Mhm.
And here it feels like they kind of forgot to finish the plot. I don't know.
I disagree. I think this as a standalone movie does not need to explain if the medium made a contract with the devil and he can now live forever without hands or somewhere else while the demon is collecting souls for his own gain and amassing an army to take over hell. I don't need to know all of that. This is a cool story where the hand is no more than an analogy for abuse for the abuse that goes on at house parties by teenagers, be
Yeah,
it sex, drugs, alcohol, whatever gets them high. You
and
know?
it takes your soul. Yeah, if you
Yeah,
forget.
that is the crux of the movie.
Yeah.
Everything else is just
Mhm.
coding so you can tell the story in a different way. Now, you might feel like not getting answers is unsatisfactory, and I completely agree with you. But then again, I really think this touches on something that I wanted to talk about, which is the amount of foreshadowing this movie has. I really think that these guys were completely aware of what they wanted to do, and It's a matter of, okay, we don't need to talk about this, we don't need to talk about that. We are focused on this story, and everything else that we might have will just take so long to explain that we needed another 30 minutes that would make the movie boring in order to explain them. You understand what I'm getting at?
I mean, I don't think
How many times have we complained about movies that go on for so long? It's usually in the
Yes.
exposition. They
Yes.
try to tell you everything and spoon feed you information. And I think that this movie does the opposite. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, but
you
the
don't get all
opposite
the
is
answers, but you also don't need to.
I think the opposite is not like you can go too far in the other direction as well.
Mm.
I do think you need to give some reward for the inquisitive mind. I guess you need to just answer some question. Well, of course, not all of them. You have to leave questions unanswered, but like I don't know. It just
I feel like some questions were answered.
some were. I don't know. I just didn't feel very satisfied with the way it wrapped up.
Right.
Maybe I was expecting something else. I don't know. The use of technology in the movie is it is contemporary. It is, smartphones, not just smartphones, the latest ones, and like the whole TikTok thing, which I've only heard about through like I think I only heard about it once. Never even tried to venture into it because it sounds like the I was gonna say it sounds like hell, but that would be good. It sounds like something not like
Not hell.
not hell, something bad. That's not hell.
Yeah, I noticed that not for the first time, but it is so rare that it feels like the first time. We've seen a movie where you pan over someone's phone and it matches with the things that we see from the phones that we usually
Yeah,
get around this house, you know?
Yeah, it's basically the real thing. It's like the
Yeah,
real
it
social
matches the
media.
real. I was stunned.
You even see. I think there's
How
a
hard is this to make on a regular basis, you know?
there's this shot in which they're looking at I think it's a video, maybe it's a TikTok. I don't know if they call them TikToks or videos or whatever. It's this video of two influencers. I think they're YouTubers, and one of them I actually recognized. I don't know his name. So yeah, like I myself have, seen these rectangles that they use, and I've seen some of those people online. So they are real people and they are real YouTubers, and it just that's the real thing. And the language that the kids use is the language that people use. Even there's even a line in which the mom says, in which she's trying to use the language that the kids use, and it's funny because that's exactly how parents and us try to learn the new the new trends in language that appear, and don't really get it. And it's funny because that's exactly what happens in real life and happens in the movie as well. So that's just really, that's what I'm saying. The mood and it's very believable. It's very well done.
Yeah, I completely. It's refreshing to actually see something that matches reality in this point. I feel like it can't be that hard to do, you know. I'm sure that there's some technical jargon about not being able to properly record a phone with a camera or whatever like that. But
Well, maybe you're not supposed to record it properly.
yeah, there's ways, right? Like these guys may manage to do so. So how hard can it be? Uh, wow. Is there anything else that I want to say about this movie? I mean, I really like it. It was a great horror movie. Um, and I want to see more of it. I've heard a little crow told me that they were going to perhaps make movies before and after this one. The concept seems to work.
Like, what do you mean, like prequels and sequels?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I would have preferred, other
Well,
stories.
I get you. There's a story to be told right there, you know, that the movie starts
you know,
in
yeah.
media res.
you know how skeptical I am of sequels of
Oh
horror
yeah,
movies. So
understandable. But these producers, A24, they or whatever, I don't know if they produced the movie or just distributed, but the things that they pick, they're usually, especially for horror movies, man. I've been loving everything that they do.
mhm,
I think there's a few more that are on our list
I
from
think so.
this studio.
But yeah,
Well, that's I don't know. That's a solid one. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 fingers.
I'll go with
A whole knuckle sandwich.
I'll give it a three and a half fingers, three
Damn.
3.8 fingers out of 5.
Well, that averages out to something. I don't feel like doing the math.
Maybe like 4 out of 5. I don't know. Anyways, without further ado, that's not what we say. Whatever.
No, that's fine.
Thanks for watching. No, we don't say that
No,
either.
but
And I realized I never actually opened the ritual.
oh my god,
So this was
this is so appropriate.
we're gonna have to do it again, isn't
This
it?
is so appropriate.
Well, anyway, the Grymm Mansion is closing its gates, which were already closed apparently.
Never
Have a
open-
horrible night, and we'll see you next time. Bye.